Lazy Boy Racing League Night, race 8 of 10. Let's get this thing started and I'll fill you in on details as we go. Qualified P5, but another incredible launch with the Ferrari 458 Italia GT3. Make up a couple positions immediately and I'm in a good spot to go up the inside of Trebes and we make it work. Not a bad start. 22 lap race though, so there's a long way to go. Everyone in a European Group 3 car. And a variety of racing soft and racing mediums. I have elected to go racing mediums in a one pit strategy. Short shifting to save fuel, and we'll see how that goes. A very good start though, with a little bit of a gap now between me and Trebes behind me. And trying to chase down Tom. I have no idea what tires Tom is on or what strategy he is going for. But feeling good being out in P2 here. That Ferrari sure does take off like crazy from a standstill. So those grid starts, even though I've had, man, I think that P5 was my best qualifying start. But I've been able to make up a couple of positions, usually at least, on the launch. So as we wind up lap 1, going into lap 2 here. And now I've got Trebes attacking. Agent Orange right behind him. I go a little wide here. Trebes sticks the nose up the inside, but not able to make it stick. Very well aware that he's behind me. And Tom has now gotten out front a little bit. I start to go sideways, not so good. Trebes gets a good run. Coming up the inside here, does he have enough to make this work? He does. I back out, let him go. No sense fighting for that or trying to defend it, not this early, especially when I knew he had it. But speaking of fighting, I decided to go right back at him and then backed out at the last second. And now I've got Agent behind me, sticking right on Trebes' rear bumper here, at least for the time being. Very early in this race, though. But to be in P3, not bad. Agent has run away with pretty much every race this season so far. He is solidly in first place in our Group A. We have a Group A and a Group B. I'm also in Group A. I am in second place, but I would not say quite as solidly as Agent's position. I've got a couple guys that are right there. So with 2 races to go, it is far from decided yet. I go a little wide there. Trebes has now given a little bit of a gap, and I got Agent coming up, looking like he's going to go to the inside, but he backs out. He and I took that turn differently. But I'm able to hold him off at least for now, halfway through lap 3. We've got Sweaty Palms is in the back of that pack somewhere with the fast lap, so that's definitely something to be aware of. And there goes Tom. Tom is off into the grass, so there's a free position. If I can stay on Trebes and if I can hold off Agent. A little bit of a gap now to Agent behind me, but Trebes has also kind of taken off. See if we can close that gap to Trebes and continue to hold off Agent. Start of lap 4 here. Getting on that throttle early. I am short shifting here, mostly to save fuel. I noticed on the last few races that I can stay in fuel map 1 and just short shift to save enough fuel to make this a one stop. No need to mess with the fuel map. Felt a little bit more an easier method. as you see Agent gaining on me here. Rather than trying to dial in fuel map and pay attention to that. Treebs is taking off. That gap looks a little bigger here. Agent's getting a little bit closer as well. So all I can do is try to churn out some fast, consistent laps. This is a pretty tight track, so there's not a ton of easy overtaking opportunities. You could definitely send it. But Agent, while we were in the chat during the race, he did mention that too, that he did not feel like he had a real open door. Not yet anyway. Lap 5, I'm going to advance here. We're on lap 8 now. So 5, 6, and 7 were very much of the same. But you can see Agent still right behind me. Treebs is still somewhat within reach, but he's got a bit of a gap there. Tires are starting to wear a little, and you can see on the bottom there my TCS is on. I did turn it on to 1 once I got to lap 8. As these tires get a little slippery, I thought that would help me, but as I go through that turn, you can see Agent went off the track into the grass. He is now slowed down, probably a 2 or 3 second gap behind me, so in my mind I'm celebrating a little bit. But got to get through these next turns and see if we can still chase down Treebs. As I approach this turn, I go a little too far inside, and the car, I believe, bottomed out on that curb, spinning me out. Agent flies by, I try to recover. Hobo goes by, smacks me, at least on my screen, and SoCal and Sweaty Palms all go flying by me. I'm now from P2 to P6, and that was extremely discouraging. Knowing I had a pretty good pace, and then with Agent going off the track, feeling like I had a perfect opportunity, and I just screwed it up. But what can you do? You gotta play it where it lies, right? So it's time to try to chase down this group in front of me as we start lap 9. And my plan is pit at the end of 11, so halfway through the race, get new tires, and I will definitely need fuel, but I'm going to go back on the mediums. I know there are a couple drivers running softs, and I believe that we've got a couple drivers that are going for a 2-stop strategy. So I've skipped it ahead to lap 10 here because there wasn't a whole lot to see. Just still trying to chase down Sweaty in front of me, SoCal in front of him, Hobo, my teammate, in front of him. And the reason I mentioned Hobo, my teammate, is that is going to come into play here as this race progresses. Trying to be a little cautious as I approach that turn now, since I have already spun myself up. I do see the traffic starting to bunch up a little bit ahead of me, which is good news for me, because if they start to battle at all, that will slow them down. You can see them jockeying back and forth. Sweaty makes a move and gets past SoCal. And we are winding up lap 10, going on to lap 11, still in P6. We're going to fast forward this guy because there was much of the same, but I did close the gap on SoCal a bit, so that's some good news. As he starts to pull away a little bit more there, but here we come to the end of lap 11, and a bunch of us are heading to the pits. And you can see Treebs on soft, a couple guys on soft, Agent on mediums, Sweaty on softs, Hobo on mediums, SoCal on soft, so kind of a variety there. We're going to speed up this pit stop as well too, but it's new mediums for me, and it is fuel. We come out almost exactly where we went in. Time to chase these guys down. Now you can see I'm in P9 because of where other people decided not to pit. But now we've got some new leaders at the top there with the rest of us pitting. Pyler, Do-What, and Tom, 1, 2, 3 respectively. So those 3 guys, you could maybe assume we're gonna be able to pass them when they pit, because I'm sure the rest of us who pitted at the end of 11 are on a one-stop strategy, whether we're on mediums or softs. So I'm advancing it ahead here, just more of the same, trying to chase down SoCal in front of me. We did gain a position because of somebody pitting. Looks like Do-What pitted. And I feel like I'm starting to gain on SoCal a little bit. You can see him making a move on Sweaty, or maybe not a move, but avoiding a collision, but he gets a poor exit going off the track a bit. Not sure if he saw me. I don't think he did see me, so we both bump each other a little bit. He apologized when we were on comms, but I felt a little bit like that could have been lag, and not sure if I got a much better exit or if he backed out. It seemed like he kind of backed out, maybe broke a little early, but there's another position back. So we are now up into 7. And hopefully we'll be making up some free spots there due to pit strategy. But regardless, all I can do is just keep trying to gain. And there's a back marker. Crazy was off the track there. I've still got Sweaty to chase down, but as you can see on the leaderboard, right in front of Sweaty is Hobo. Hobo is my teammate. And Hobo is pretty much going to give a lesson in how to be a teammate here, as we watch him make that Ferrari as wide as possible and keep Sweaty from making a move. And it was a stellar job as I was watching it, even from the previous lap or two. He just really took up the whole track, and Sweaty could not get past him. He could not get a move. I could hear him getting frustrated and trying to even call it out that he's going to go to the inside, but I knew what Hobo was doing. He was purposely defending, slowing up Sweaty, and giving me a chance to come back. So now I'm there. Another pit, so we have made up another strategy. Somebody else pitted. So now into P6, and it's lap 16. He goes a little wide. Can I make this stick? I've got great position, brake hard, but I overshoot it. So in front of him momentarily, but he gets the cutback. Had I made that braking point accurately, I could have made that move stick. I definitely was up alongside of him, but I blew it. So I'm back to P6. Let's try it again. Sweaty still trying to chase down Hobo and looking for an opportunity to get past Hobo. And you can see Hobo go into the inside there and preventing Sweaty from making a move. With these unique driving lines, it gives me an opportunity to catch up again. So now I'm right back up onto Sweaty as he's trying to go inside. We make contact, nothing too drastic there. I get a little bit better line here. Hobo going down the middle of the lane more or less. Slowing Sweaty down enough for me to stay on his bumper. Sweaty goes outside, he goes inside, he makes contact. And that slows him down, slows Sweaty down enough. And I get a decent exit. So here we go again, lap 17 now. As he goes a bit wide, I kind of follow him going a bit wide. There's a little bit of room on the inside, but I cannot make it stick. So still just trying to stay with it. And honestly, just hoping Hobo can hold him off from getting a move. But then I've got to be able to make that move and get past Sweaty at the same time. So it's going to be a little tricky. I get a good exit through there. I'm right on his bumper as he's looking for a way to get past Hobo. Looking to the inside again. Hobo is having none of it. Sweaty tries to pass him a bit on the outside. I don't know if he's trying to pass him or just kind of drifted out that way. One more attempt. Sweaty goes around the outside. It's not there. Hobo coming back underneath. And there it is, giving me the opportunity to get past. And unfortunately for Sweaty, he's immediately met by Bite Me McQueen. I'm not sure if there was contact, if he got hit off the track. That was unfortunate because Sweaty was running a terrific race there. You can see he's still holding the fast lap here. So Hobo and I have our work cut out for us here over the next 5 laps. Really what we need to do is work together, not fight, and just extend this lead. I was 100% resigned to let Hobo take 3rd if we could make this work. Until then I just got a faster exit from the previous turn, and my instincts kind of kicked in that I should just take this here, but I didn't really have enough to make it work. And so Hobo ends up going wide, I go narrow, I'm slowing both of us down. And in retrospect, I should have just tucked in behind him or waited until there was just a very obvious place to go past him. But I felt a little bit like I had faster pace earlier on in the race, so I wanted to get by him so that we could both just kind of pull away from this group. That said, if you look in that rearview mirror, we've got a decent gap here, maybe 2.5 seconds, something around there. So there really is no need for me to try to fight Hobo at all. And just try to stay consistent here, consistent braking points. And wherever I notice that I'm catching up, I should really just adjust and settle in. I'm also not sure what the guys behind us are on for tires and whether they're struggling at this point. But we'll see soon enough, as we have a decent gap behind us. And I'm going a little bit narrower than Hobo is there. I do tuck in behind and commit to that normal line this time rather than try to dive up the inside on him. And we've got Bite Me is still behind us, but seems like he might be gaining a little bit. That next group, there are 3 cars. Bite Me, Sweaty, and SoCal. They may be gaining a little bit here. I get another good run here on Hobo, and so I called it out. I knew I was gaining. I went up the inside, but I tapped him, which slowed me down. And then here we go again, much of the same, where we're now both taking compromise lines. We're both going slower than we could be going, and that's when I resigned. I gotta stop doing that, because I can now see in that rearview mirror that those guys are a lot closer than they were before my 2 failed attempts to get past Hobo. So it's time to just settle in, not worry about any of that. If there's just a completely obvious opportunity, cool. Otherwise, forget it. But as we finish out lap 19, Hobo just drifts out wide, and I guess there's that obvious passing opportunity we were talking about. Not what I had in mind, not what I wanted for him. But he's gone. Well, he's back there, but he's not completely gone. So that puts me up to P3 after all that drama, but I've got Bite Me McQueen is right on my tail now, and I know there's another car or 2 behind him, not too far off, with only 2 laps to go, and now I'm getting squirrely here, kind of slipping side to side. He tries to go for this move on the outside, not tries to, he does it, momentarily has it, but I've got a better line and a better exit, so I'm able to immediately take that position back. But with him able to do that and being so close, it's getting a little antsy out there. And again, knowing, and there's that TCS. TCS is off as I'm approaching this turn with only one more attempt at doing it, but I did consciously decide I'm not turning the TCS on. I thought that might have had something to do with my spin out, where it just the car is responding differently than what I had been doing in those earlier laps. Regardless, I'm now committed. We've got a little more than 1 lap to go. SoCal is catching up to bite me, so that could be good news for me. Here we go, final lap. And turn 1. I get this pretty good. But bite me's not, I'm not gaining. I'm not creating a gap, but just gotta stay smooth and consistent here. Hit my marks. And if he gets close enough where I have to defend, then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Another moment there is I kind of lose control, but able to gain it enough to be able to take a normal line here. But he's right there. And SoCal not far behind. About a half a lap to go here. And fuel is running out. But I had done enough practice races that I was not concerned about my fuel at all. I'm winding out that engine, revving it out a little bit higher than I had been earlier, and kind of, you know, adjusting as needed where I think if I need to save a little bit of fuel. But it's running out. But in the live race, whoa, with the fuel map on, as Bite Me tries to go around, and I just basically block him off. I'm defending now and taking that inside. If he can make an outside move stick, good for him. SoCal and Bite Me making contact there. I don't know if that's accidental or frustration or not, but after all of that, it is a P3 finish. And unfortunately, Hobo ran out of gas, I think for the second or third time this season. But I was super happy to end up with a P3 finish after spinning out in the middle there. So another fun race. And if you like this one, you might like one of these.